I am Amanda.
Hello.
Yeah, I just saw right now. I don't know what Slack was doing. It's like exploding alerts about this meeting.
Yeah. My internet might be a little iffy, so is it okay if I make you host?
Yeah, and Lucas will join. Make him as well.
Sounds good.
Hello. I, for one, am going on camera today. And if we all do it at the same time, the new people who pop in will be more likely to.
Give me 1 second. I'll turn mine on.
Could be on camera for a while. My internet's going to be a little finicky in about 10 minutes, but that sounds good to start with.
Yeah. You're expecting a like work on the line, something like that?
Yeah, so I'm going to switch to mobile for 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, I'll switch for 10 minutes and then it'll be done. Just bad timing.
I am still writing my presentation that I'm going to give in about 10 minutes or 5. I don't know. Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll have fun with it. I'll put in a nice background as soon as I find one. There you go. Spades.
Ethan, how are you?
Hello, Lucas. Fine.
I'm trying to get people to go on camera today because it's a special day.
Yeah, I know.
How are you?
Lucas, who were you asking?
I was asking, are very arguably Neaton, but honestly, I was thinking about what I was doing over here. So
Okay, I thought someone is joined, so you were talking to them.
yes, yes. Daniel Luna, how are you?
Sequence. Yes. Hmm. Mhm.
Lucas, while we wait for people, I think one time we should do a live stream of Twitch or YouTube and see how that goes.
A live stream of this call into YouTube?
Like live stream it. The call happens on Zoom. I've seen they do it on Twitch and then it goes on LinkedIn live. We should try it one time.
I think that's an interesting idea that like Zoom works for a particular group of people, and like different contributors or potential contributors have their own kind of social styles.
Yeah,
There's
because I'm just saying it because I watch Twitch, the AWS training and certifications group all the time. But I also get a notification on LinkedIn that they're live as well. So it's just something to think about.
Daniel, would you remind me where you were from? Are you at the university in Brazil?
He put in a chat. But so, yeah.
That's what I thought. And Kamar, hello. We haven't met. Are you a mentee? That's my guess. So it's 11. Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, Daniel. I was speaking to Kamar. I knew that you're a professor. We're a little late getting started, and that influences our overall schedule. And I don't think we have a full quorum here. Does anybody agree? Kamar, oh, you're an engineer. Gotcha. Could you say a little bit more about your perspective and what brings you here? Just so we can, you know, like one of the things we do in these community meetings is um, understand who's in the community and what their needs are and what their profile is and so on. And Sham, it's good to see you here. Or
Good
Sham,
morning, Chris, and everybody. How are you all?
good. Mickey, how should we adjust the schedule given that we're definitely not going to start? We're going to have to shave off like 10 minutes.
So I'm just going back to the wiki we created. Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have a quorum. I think it might be good if we started with maybe the roadmap. Um,
Do that.
and
Was
then
Jordan-
in case the updates.
All right.
Was Jordan gonna start?
He was.
It was. But okay. Lucas, I think you can get started. We'll come back.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to talk about the roadmap. The regular attendees at the TSC meetings will be familiar with this, but the purpose of the community meeting is different than the TSC meeting. It is the larger community, and by the way, thank you for chiming in the chat, Kamar. Um, and so for people who are um, who don't attend the TSC meetings, a lot of this chatter will be kind of new, and it's important to have a picture, a sense of the larger picture. So here's where we stand. We are we're heading towards the 1.10 release. The 1.10 release, the main goal of that is to fix a piece of important tech debt, which is being pinned to Ubuntu 20.04. And we're stuck with that release, that version of Ubuntu, because we made some kernel patches, most of all because we made some kernel patches, not only. And we made those patches years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago. And to get off of those, we have to port those patches out to something that can stand in other versions of Ubuntu. Then there are other components that are also tied to particular Ubuntu versions, but that aren't in the kernel, and so we can put them inside a container. And so we have this strategy for getting to our goal of, first of all, moving the kernel patches out to eBPF so that we have the ability um, to be uncoupled from specific versions of the kernel. And while we're doing that, we're going to take everything that's tied to Ubuntu 20.04, but that it's not in the kernel, and move it inside of a container. And so 1.10 is planned to be kind of roughly a two-part architecture with a version of Ubuntu in the master container that's running the new kernel that is not restricted to Ubuntu 20.04, and everything else inside of a container. So, for example, the Federation Gateway. And we identified three major parts of this. The first was that we needed to fix the CI. We're unable to check in PRs because the tests won't run because the CI doesn't run. And the CI doesn't run because this old version of Ubuntu we're tied to is no longer supported by GitHub. So we have a task to stand up an image to allow us to have our own CI in the short term. That is delayed. We've been struggling to get it out the door. We actually have a version running, but it doesn't run, it's not stable. So that's part number one. Part number two is we want to take everything that we can put into a container and get it there, and then have a two-part architecture where it's orchestrated using Docker Compose. Part of that is the kernel modules that no longer work are in sort of an outer orchestrator or kind of motion component, and everything else inside a container. That is also a little bit behind. And then number three, originally planned to be the hardest part, is porting the kernel patches to eBPF. And that will allow us to have the outer part of the system move from the old Ubuntu. That part is unexpectedly ahead of schedule, and it may even be done as of today or maybe Friday or so. So our original timeline for delivery was the end of this year, and I think we're still on track for that, but I think there is some real risk of slipping that schedule. And so that's the first part of what we should be talking about. We should also say that we are uncoupling the system, the development system, so we aren't all inside the Magma mono repo, and that allows us to do releases of independent components that are on a different timeline, and that includes new deployer scripts, new documentation, and some other things. And so part of 1.10 is that everything isn't in there anymore. We're going to be shipping other things separately. Let me stop for a moment and ask for thoughts. And I want to emphasize, this is most important for people who are not at every single TSC meeting. So I would invite folks who aren't there every Monday to jump in. What are your thoughts on what we have so far in this conversation?
This is a good summary, Lucas. The private runner is still stuck on the 2004.
Yes, the private runner is still stuck.
What's the issue?
It runs for a moment, but then crashes, and we're not able to SSH into it. It appears to diagnose the issue. and it seems likely that there are logs, something like that, some other engineering.
At the risk of overcomplicating things, I have a person I work with. Would it be possible for me to get access to setting up a private runner so I can stand one up for people to test? Would that be helpful? I mean, I have plenty of compute resources. I can dedicate one just for testing, if nothing else, with 2004, if that helps. Is there any guideline for this? Is not meant to be a replacement for the project that's already in place. This is just to see if we can get off this block.
Maybe let's talk about this offline and see if we can help.
All right.
Break.
I'm online on Slack now. If you could reach out to me, that'd be great.
Great. And hey, it's nice to see you.
Good to see everybody. It is proof of life.
That's right. Okay, so moving on to the next parts. We are going to we're going to ship some stuff outside of the mono repo, and that includes the new deployment scripts, new documentation. We have the contributor badges project; those are going to start going live, and so part of our roadmap is to not be so monolithic in making new stuff that is useful to the community. Make the big releases as small as possible and be kind of continually putting things out. We're thinking towards 1.11. So what's going to be in 1.11? 1.10 was scoped to this kernel issue. And in 1.11, the most important thing we're going to do is we're going to take everything that we put inside the container, which is going to be a 22.04, Ubuntu 22.04 container, and we're going to pull it out of there and get it working in current Ubuntu distributions. In particular, the Python libraries, I think, are the biggest blocker that I know of. That's number one. And number two, we are going to work on the performance of pipeline D. So we're going to do a major rewrite of pipeline D from Python to C++, and it'll improve the scalability of Magma, but it's a big rewrite, and there are important risks with that. I've been doing some threat modeling on that, and I see it as being something that's going to call for more work, and it would be great to have community members who participate in threat modeling the individual components inside of Pipeline D, right? Keep in mind that Pipeline D has a lot of different jobs, and each of those is a point of contact and some surface area, and it's going to need to be looked at. Also in 1.11, we are going to move the deployment scripts that are currently in the Magma repo out to Magma Deployer. And so the Magma master repo will no longer contain that part of our system. And the standalone Magma Deployer project is going to become a first-class project. So that bootstrapped about 2 years ago, I want to say. It really is a side project in somebody's personal account, and it's going to become a first-class resource. And then in 1.12, we are going to work on CWAG, and also some LTE stuff that is made possible by the rest of the 1.11 port. But we're going to hold off on shipping that right away. It's 11:19 by my clock, and I'm trying to get the timeline just right. So coming back to the calendar at 11:15, I should have been finishing. But I think we're going to improvise the timeline today because things are a little different than expected. Let me stop briefly. Is there anything we should check in on before moving on to the next part of the schedule?
No, I think you can continue.
All right. The next part of this community meeting is a presentation on the state of the eBPF port by Nitin Rajput.
Thank you, Lucas. So, hello everyone. So today I will be sharing the updates on our eBPF integration in Magma. So let me share my screen. Uh, 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 the screen is visible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yes, so today I will be sharing the updates on the eBPF integration in Magma. So this is a key step toward making the system more cloud native. So let's begin with a quick overview of what was the previous architecture. So earlier, when the GDP packets, arrives to the physical NICs, then the encapsulation and decapsulation were handled directly on the kernel space. So these packets then were processed and forward to the OVS through the OVS bridge, where the further processing took place. So this approach worked really well, but it had some limitations, like it required custom kernel patches. Over here I'm talking about this portion. So it required the custom kernel packages, which made upgrade difficult every time. So we need to, if we need to move from one kernel version to another kernel version, so it requires significant rework to make the custom packages, kernel patches for that. So, and it also uh, goes against to the kernel, sorry, cloud native approach. So now with the eBPF transition, the eBPF based architecture that you were saying, so we were removing uh, the dependency on the kernel custom kernel patches, and instead we use the eBPF TC program for the GTP encapsulation and decapsulation and the QFI handling directly on the virtual interfaces, where the eBPF TC program decap and encap hook will be attached. So let's understand the eBPF transition architecture. So when the GTP packets arrive to the physical NIC over here, then there is a TC ingress filter that forward the GTP packets from physical NIC to virtual interface, over where we have attached the eBPF program TC decap hook, where the decapsulation happens. Then after the decap of the packet will move toward the another end of that virtual interface, which is GTP Web 0, where the mark is preserved. And this is the important portion because previously we need our tunnel ID related interfaces that we have in previous, like this GTP sys 2152. With this approach, it was difficult to retain the mark set, so that without this mark, the OVS will not process the decap or any other packets, because it will not understand where the packets are coming from. So when the mark is set and decap, with the decap and the mark set metadata, the packet will move from GTP Web 0 to OVS through the OVS bridge, and the rest flow will remain the same as previous. So this is the portion that where we are working, and this will completely remove the kernel patches with the eBPF one. So now we no longer need the custom kernel patches, and we can seamlessly upgrade from Ubuntu 20 to newer version like 22, 24, and so on. And it also makes the system much more cloud native and easier to maintain, as we know the custom kernel patches, if we move from 20 to 22 or 24, it will be overhead to maintain that patches. So with this eBPF approach, it will be easier to maintain it. So now let's look at the phase-wise implementation that we have. So in the phase one, we will have a script to set up the complete eBPF environment, like we have a script to set up the Magma Docker environment. So we also have now we also have a eBPF setup environment script. Then we have a eBPF based TC program for the GTP decapsulation and encapsulation that will include the QFI handling. and also the virtual interfaces on which this program will get hooked. Then we have a shared eBPF maps for retaining the data uh, and the metadata which I was talking previously. Then we have a detailed README covering all the overall setup and the architectural overview, complete architectural overview that we have discussed here, and also the deployment guide, a step-by-step deployment guide to how someone can replicate this eBPF-based environment in their own and start deploying it. So this portion of phase one we will be releasing tomorrow in the Magma repository so that anyone can easily replicate this scenario. Then we have after that the phase two will be started. So the phase two is mostly on the integration connecting this eBPF program that we have done on the phase one portion with the Magma component and ensuring it for the smooth uplink and downlink data flow of the packet and testing it with the simulators, RAN simulators and UE simulators. Then after the phase two, we have phase three, which is the last phase for this eBPF. In this phase, we will do the complete testing of eBPF based setup with the ORAN compliant radios like Light on Benetel and with the multiple STRs like X410 and 310 B210s. And we will also prepare the complete documentation for this eBPF release. And that's all from my side on the eBPF updates.
Thanks for that.
This is very good work, Nathan. Excellent work.
Thanks so much.
Lucas, there's two questions in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go to questions.
What is the performance that was expected to the eBPF as opposed to the traditional architecture? What was the advantage and disadvantage of eBPF? So let me share my screen to understand. So here you can see the previously we were using the kernel patches for the GTP encapsulation and decapsulation. If you go through this approach, what we were doing is we were removing the kernel patches and not the data path. Like we were using the OBS as it is. So OBS is maintaining the complete life cycle of the packet. So eBPF is not maintaining that. So eBPF is currently, is used to replace the kernel patches as like if we, if we need to upgrade from currently like we are using Ubuntu 20 and we want to upgrade it to Ubuntu 22. So we need to rewrite the kernel patches for, GDP, NCAP and DCAP. And this almost take around 1 year as mentioned by the Jordan in the last TSC calls. So this was the overhead. With this eBPF approach, we have removed the custom kernel patches dependency, and through this eBPF approach, the maintenance of the GTP decapsulation and encapsulation that was previously maintained by the custom kernel patches is made easier. Like if we want to upgrade from Ubuntu 20 to, 22 or 24, we need to just do a little bit modification on the functional part of that encapsulation or decapsulation processes. That's all we need. The overall architecture will remain same. So I think it will take around, if we want to upgrade from Ubuntu 20 to 24 eBPF based GTP, DCAP and NCAP, it will take around only 15 to 30 days, not the whole year for creating the custom packages. So this is the advantage we have with, eBPF. And for the performance perspective, so our approach is not on the performance. So we were trying to remove the custom kernel patches with the eBPF so that to make it more cloud native.
So the performance implications seem to be mainly tied to the the performance of the migration part. So if you're standing up a new version of Magma, you'll be able to do it more quickly, but the actual runtime will be roughly the same.
Yes.
I mean, also there's an important change here that we're going to be reliant on Docker. And we won't run on bare metal for the next two versions, for 1.10 and 1.11. And that, that's the entire world of computing is going there, but also it's a thing. It is a change. So if we're good with that, the next,
So,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So Lucas, before we could let Andre speak, I was wondering if I could just do something a little small on the outreach because Lucas is not there,
Please do.
and then mentorship I will do it as well, and then we'll hand it over to Andre to for it. Is that fine?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. I'm just thinking because Lucas is not here. That's all. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen.
Just to return really briefly to what we were just talking about with performance and portability, I think this is an improvement in architecture and gets us away from, we were at pit that was dug a long time ago. And that's the main thing.
So Lucas, there is one question from the comment. So let me reply. So
Go ahead.
yeah, so with this eBPF implementation, yes, you can easily upgrade, from, we have worked on the Ubuntu 20 kernel version 5.4. So we have done this, POC already, and we have show this POC in the Indian Mobile Congress, which was held in this month also. So, so this we have already done, and with above 5.4 kernel version, it can easily upgradable with the minor, functional changes only. Yes, it can easily, upgrade on all type of kernel version after 5.4.
Yeah. Okay, so over to Mickey.
Okay, yeah. So as part of Linux Foundation, we do rely a lot on outreach from the community. So the way we are transition to outreach, some stuff we have started this year, and some stuff we are planning for the next year. So we are looking into these are just first of all just high levels. There are like other small like, stuff we do in outreach and discussions that happens in the outreach calls. But in the high level, we are going to transition to some Magma office hours to help and support the community. And this can be over Slack that will be available at these times, or if a call is needed between these times. In the probably next year, we are going to be doing some hackathons and buildathons to help grow the Magma community. And basically, this will also allow showcase the community growth and allow like new users and the university students to get their hands on into Magma. The third one was around mentorship program. As many of you know, we created a pilot program for this started September on the mentorship, and we will be planning soon how to take it forward for the next year. Because one was a pilot, so now we know how it goes and how to improve it. Next year we will be talking a lot on seeing how we can get community showcases happening over a couple calls to allow the community to showcase and more what they're building, how they're using Magma, and what they're planning. For the starter kit, we have starter kits ready. We're just finalizing on the development point. It will keep an eye on Slack around that. We will you'll see a couple things around that. So if you're interested in getting a starter kit to learn in the US for right now, if you're out of US, please think us and we will help you how to get a starter kit as well. And you will see the different parts we use for the starter kit, and you can get started using Magma as well. Before I hand it over to Andre for mentorship, I just want to think a little bit back to these slides, which one talked about the mentorship program from last community meeting. So the reason of why we're doing the mentorship in Magma, because so the idea is the mentorship is in Magma project. It's supposed to help with the innovation and building enterprise and ensuring the sustainability in the open source 5G ecosystem. As a high technical driven community, it requires a lot of skilled contributor, but it's not specifically on like 5G skills. We are looking into like training people. We're looking into architecture point of view, the development. We talk as we speak. There are Python scripts that could help with the future development efforts. Okay. So what's the benefit for as a mentee? We are as a mentee, it's a real world experience in a telecom system. So the telecom system is very like, I won't say small, but only a handful of people will know it. And this way, it's a great exposure for you as who's running to learn more about the telecom, how you're making the calls. If you ever wanted to have like how Telm and Rogers works. I'm just saying from here in Canada and companies. But it's a great way for you to even collaborate with the engineers all around the world, from India, Brazil, US, Canada, and the Europe area. And again, it's very credible in open source since we are with Linux Foundation and the telecom community as well. And this will help with the career growth and leadership development. On the side, you will see some of the reasons why it's good to be under mentorship. So knowledge transfer, which their community growth will be helping code quality. This will also help with project stability and onboarding as well as the project grows. And Magma is a unique one where it's not just one thing you're working on. There's multiple things happening. On back to on the left, you will see this pilot program that there was 130 people.
Sorry, I should say the screen share may not be in sync with what you're showing there. I'm seeing a screen that says title, evolution of Magma core architecture, and so on.
Is it a good slide?
Yes.
So, so like where I was saying, was the mentees applied for the pilot program was 113, and it's, we accepted 27 to help out with the pilot program, which they're finishing in a month, and then next we go get ready for the next term. So what's next will be more on setting up the mentorship for next term, which will be in January, having more support work sessions for the mentees to get them more active and providing more knowledge to the mentees as well. I think I explained everything, even if you didn't see the light screen.
There's a lot to talk about with all of this. Outreach has been super active and productive and getting a lot done. But maybe let's go to Andre's presentation.
Hi everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you guys again, and I would like to congratulate for the new update for Magma as well. So yeah. So let me share the screen right now. What I did in this first part of the program was I focused primarily on making the Magma build, which I had some problems, but it happens. And then I came to the second phase, that is to work towards the traffic aspect of Magma, simulating a UE from a 5G network. So, and watch the traffic between Magma and the UE. And that's the bug we are looking right now. So it is, I'm not sure how to start. It's basically a AMF that returns a incorrect failure cows, because as I will show it right now, that it's something inside the packet rusher that is related to the PLMN. So the environment is basically what Lucas proposed inside Slack. We have 3 VMs. All 3 of them are using, in my case, Ubuntu. And then I SSH and send everything and connected everything correctly. Of course, on the previous branch, the 1.9, the problem statement is that during NG setup, the GMB uses an unsupported an SSI slice. So the AMF rejects the connection, but the logs shows here the no common PLMN with GMB, which is misleading. I spent myself some time looking towards what the problem really was, and it's kind of misleading and time consuming.
Yeah.
Here is the repetition steps. This print here is basically, this print here is the repetition steps. This print is inside the packet rusher configuration. This part here is the SD part. That is this slice is basically what the problem really is. So the Magma's let's say default slice is FFFFF, and the problem is that when I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous. It's my first presentation ever, so I'm sorry.
Now, I remember my first presentation. Actually, so you're doing great. And honestly, it's just the six of us, and this is totally interesting.
Andre, you're doing great. You're
Yeah.
doing fine.
Thank you.
You're winning friends and supportive people.
Thank you.
And thanks for doing this today. This is super interesting and helpful. So
let me start again. So by this repetition steps, we have to deploy Magma with the default slice. That is, and that's the problem, because Magma has its default slice inside that we cannot see. But when we are using Packet Brusher, I did not use the other one, the other 5G tool, but I think that something similar to this could happen. I don't know. So the MME logs shows the incorrect cause, the no common PLMN, as shown previous to. This is the part of the logs and evidence. This is inside the Wireshark that shows the NG setup failure, the cause NAS authentication failure, and through investigation, it came about NAS authentication failure. Going forward, investigating the MME info inside HW, we see the message here: no common PLMN with GMB, generate NG setup failure -1. I mean, this is just the bug report. I investigated later, and I think I found the problem because it's very much like I think it's just changing the way it is said. You can change this message here, no common PLMN with not common NS not common slice or something like that. A message like that, I think it solves the problem basically.
how about
So yeah.
So it seems to me there are two things going on. One is the incorrect error report, which causes problems for people who matter to us. And so, yes, I agree with that really nice, simple, tidy fix. But also, what can we do about the slice mismatch?
So I think that obviously I have to work towards it, but I think we can make some sort of script that can analyze this sort of thing, because and automatically change it to so that this kind of problem like SD, so probably creating this simple script can like see that the slice is not the default one for Magma, and then obviously showing it so we can delete this kind of line is a way of doing it, or just ignoring it and overriding with the default slice. I think it's doable. I don't know.
So okay, I could throw a thought out. It's maybe, since I am looking at the the H180 tester we have in Magma. Maybe
Hmm.
it can be a tester over there we can add.
Yep. Agreed.
Andre, you can continue.
Oh, thanks. Sorry. And again, thanks. It's a bit confusing since I came like parachuted in this project. So yeah, thank you. So continuing is it's just other places from other logs and evidence from mme.config that shows the APN and the problems and the logs here in the right that shows the no common PLMN and the SCTP shutdowns. It shows there is something wrong happening, of course, that the slice is not being read and the connection is just disabling for some reason.
So I think we should have a conversation about what you've learned with most importantly Lucas Amaral, Neaton, and Jordan.
Yes.
Do you have thoughts at this moment? Do you want to hold back until we do that?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Yes, so I need to understand, like, you were using the default slicing value, like, you were using the SST and SD default values. So through the NMS, you can change the SD value, right? So have you tried that?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
So what was the result? Same result, like no same error you were getting that also.
Can you repeat it, please? Sorry.
Yeah. So after changing the the slices according to you, like you were using the uh, SST1 and SDL001, something like that, as you mentioned in the slide. So
Yes,
you
here.
have updated that value on the NMS side also, so that the core can pick up the updated values, and then you can check with the simulator that you are using.
Hmm.
So have you done this part also?
Uh, I I don't think so. Maybe that
I think
stage.
you
So
I think you should use the NMS and try to apply the new updated values through the NMS and see
oh yeah,
whether
yeah, yeah.
the yeah.
I'm sorry. I was confused. Yeah, the inside the NMS, it's correct. It's everything is correct. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no mismatch inside the
Mm-hmm.
configuration.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think it's something really about the packet brochure and the interaction between packet brochure and Magma. So the inside the NMS configuration, it's everything is corrected.
So I would suggest you can use other RAM simulators like UE ransom that works perfectly with Magma. So that makes you help you to understand whether you are getting the same issue with the UE ransom or not. There might be a
Hmm.
issue with the packet browser also.
Okay,
Yes.
Andre, thanks for doing
so
this. Yeah, go ahead.
thank you. Oh, can I? Okay. So should I end the presentation?
Yeah, actually, probably yes, because we only have
It's
5 minutes left and we should use it. Feel free to, if you want to sit in on the Monday TSC call, we might come back to this if you need more support. Thanks for doing this. It's good to have you, and I appreciate you joining this meeting. The next thing on our agenda is the results of the TSC election. And so I wanted to announce the two new members of the TSC to fill the seats left by the Vultures representative and by Shom, who has to move on. First, we have Vipin Rathi from Delhi University. I'm really glad to have another person from India. We continue to grow outside of the United States, and Vipin appears extremely qualified to do this. We'll have to figure out how the time works. It seems like he's going to be okay with doing a call in the TSC along with Neaton and dealing with the time zone. Thank you again. I appreciate that very much. Actually, let me, I'm going to share my screen. Can I? Yes. Okay, so this is Vipin, and the second candidate is Rafael Rodriguez from COFRI, who has been contributing to documentation and who is in Brazil, and I think is the first TSC member from Brazil that I know of, which is something that it's really good to fix. So I guess starting next week, they'll be in. And now Q&A. We have 4 minutes for Q&A. By the way, I'm trying to unshare this. There we go. What are people's thoughts on this meeting? How do we do? Anything we should add? Anything we should do differently? I'll go since I sure like to talk. Community meetings are a really important part of open source. And you need a constant kind of, inflow of new people through the funnel of interest from reading the source code and using the software, creating an issue, and eventually becoming a contributor. And something we should do differently next time is try to get as many mentees as we can. And if they don't come to this, let's go to them. Let's make a mentee meeting. Let's get people involved and have them realize that their voice is part of participation. This isn't like a job, right? Your whole mind and everything you know and can think of is part of it, and engaging with the community is part of that. Thoughts?
I think Lucas, we already talked about it, so we can get the mentees. But again, it's up to them if they want to speak or not. But aside from that, it's just think how we can outreach more with Linux Foundation. I think because Linux Foundation is very big and vast. So the more we work together with other projects, it helps even grow our outreach.
Yeah, good point.
That's top of my head right now.
Agreed. What do y'all think? Should we call it on this meeting, or is there more stuff to talk about?
No, I think we're good from my end.
All right. Shom, good to see you. Andre, thank you for joining us. Nitin and Mickey. All right, awesome. Mickey, thank you for planning this and putting it all together. I know.
Yeah, thanks you guys. Thanks for keeping the movement forward and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll be able to dabble in, and if nothing else, just monitor the activities. And I am working on essentially a couple of activities that will augment security and identity with private networks like this. So we'll see where things end up going. Things move slow, but as long as they're moving forward. Good to see you all.
Yeah, I'd love to learn more about that when you're in a position.
Of course. Take care, folks.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yeah.